This morning on Community Close-Up, we'll be talking to Reanna Smith-Hamblin, who's the president and CEO of the Better Business Bureau. You know, every time we talk to you, Reanna, it's always a very eye-opening because you give us all the devious ways that thieves try to steal money from people. Well, I'll tell you what, though, we're really thankful you're in the position you're in.
Well, thank you very much. I know I wish these thieves would use it for more good instead of the bad that they've been using it for, because they're geniuses.
Yeah, they sure are. I want to ask you, you know what, I don't think I've ever asked you this, Reanna. How did you get started with the BBB?
Oh, my gosh. That's amazing. That has been, probably 17 years.
Wow.
Flashback. Yeah, it's been 17 years since I started with BBB. I was actually in the TV news business, so I was always contacting the BBB asking for any scams that might be going on and asking for interviews and everything for the news station. So started out like that in TV news, and then one day decided I wanted out of the news business. A lot of people do that. I actually put into several different jobs, and I got 2 job offers in one day. And then here I sit as the CEO 17 years later.
Wow.
I started there as Director of Communications and Marketing, and had a lot to learn. It's a lot different than just writing the news, you know?
Oh, yeah. But, boy, I tell you what, you've done a great job there at the BBB, and you send out every month, you send us out these hot topics. And what would you say is the scam that people are complaining about most these days?
Oh my gosh. You know, it's such a wide array of scams that are happening. I mean, right now, I think one of the big ones would be the IRS scams, because it's getting ready to be tax season. You know, everyone's W-9s are coming in. Everyone's getting their IRS information, all of their taxes and information, together. So that's one that's really going to be popping up. A lot of people are seeing a lot of COVID scams, especially since the surge has happened with the more COVID and the need for testing. So we've seen some fake testing sites pop up, and sometimes they're fake, but sometimes they're just businesses that they might be behind for some reason or another, and they're just not really great businesses offering these tests. So you've got to be very careful and make sure you know who you're dealing with when you get those COVID tests. We've gotten a lot of complaints and a lot of people feeling they've been scammed out of their money.
So how do you determine whether, like one of these COVID test places is real or not?
That is the age-old question. It's difficult to tell. What we do is, suggest people, if they say it's a business, to check the BBB website, bbb.org. I would also Google search the people just to see what people are saying about them. It is very, very difficult to figure it out sometimes. Some people are charging for it, some people aren't. Kind of depends on what kind of insurance you have sometimes as well. I know a lot of local places like churches and schools, they're offering testing sites or free testing as well. And then we'll have some more stuff on our website, because what we're trying to do as the Better Business Bureau system, we are trying to gather enough information to really teach consumers how to tell whether it's fake or real, and how to tell with the testing too, because there's going to be testing, or there have been like testing kits online. How do you know if they're real? How do you know if they're legitimate? How they're going to, if you're going to use the test and it's just really not a good test. So we're going to have a lot of information on our site because of it.
We've got a lot of scams that we can talk about here. One of them was interesting to me because every once in a while, Dr. Phil on the TV will have this thing about somebody who's fallen in love with somebody on the internet, and it turns out to be a romantic scam. So I'd say, how does that work here? I know that's happened here in Kentucky too.
It sure did, yeah. We have this thing called our scam tracker. It's BBB Scam Tracker. And in this case, the local consumer actually contacted us to let us know, hey, I've been threatened. They were using an online romance site, and I don't know if they released any compromising images or not. But in this case, he said that the person was saying that they're going to send out any intimate photos and videos of them and basically blackmail them. So they wanted money up front so that, the images wouldn't come out. And in many cases, this is the kind of thing, too, where the person didn't send images, but the scammers has taken their chances thinking they did.
Yeah.
There's a lot of sites out there now, so many sites to go through that are legitimate romance sites, but, people can put up fake profiles, We've seen a lot of people between the online sites and social media start romances, but they never meet the person.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a military person overseas. They fall in love, and then they ask for money. That's another way you can get scammed.
Mm-hmm.
They want to come home. They have a sick family member or a relative, and they need money because they don't have money to get home. Can you send them money? And, of course, once they get you hooked and you send that money, you never hear from them again.
Now, we're talking to Reanna Smith-Hamblin, who is the president and CEO of the Better Business Bureau. One of the other things, there are a lot of people looking for work now, and so there are employment scams out there.
We've heard a lot of them involving what's called gentleman's courier service. So a lot of reports have come into us on our scam tracker again as well. Unfortunately, it used to be some type of company, a real legitimate company, and now it's closed, and the owner has actually contacted us and said, hey, this is a scam. People or took over my name, and basically what it is a reshipping scam, and no one wants to get involved in a reshipping scam. Any kind of business that offers you a chance to get packages at your home, repackage them, and then ship them overseas, that is a reshipping scam, and you don't want to be a part of it. It's against the law. Because what they do is they take these items and they sell them on the black market and make money off of them. They actually buy these items with stolen credit cards.
Wow.
So that's one type of job scam. There's other ones out there, too, about, filling out applications online. These scam artists even go to the links of interviewing you via like a messenger app. So be very, very cautious, especially if there's bad grammar and the back and forth. The best thing to do is actually sit down and talk to someone one-on-one, and not via messenger or something like that, to just make sure it's all legitimate.
Now, you've also got calls from people claiming to be LG&E.
Any kind of electric or utility company. Unfortunately, it's cold outside. Some people might be behind on their bills because of the unemployment or anything else, having hard times. And these people will call you and say, hey, if you don't pay up right now, right away, we are going to turn your electric off. So in some cases, they'll ask you to go to somewhere like Walgreens and get a prepaid debit card and call them back, and then you send the information on the back of the card to them. So we've actually seen this done with businesses, too, and employees getting nervous. They're afraid that the electric's going to be turned out. I've actually had a call from one business that the employee took cash out of the cash drawer, went to Walgreens, bought these debit cards, and gave the numbers to the scam artist. So, and you can't get your money back. Yeah. But you're afraid you're going to lose your electric or your heat, and that's a problem. So just always beware. Any kind of utility company, they're not just going to turn your electric off or your heat off. They're going to send you bills, send you late notices, and eventually say, hey, it's going to be cut off if you're not paying up. But call that company, call it directly, and you'll be able to work something out with them, too.
We're talking to Reanna Smith-Hamblin, Better Business Bureau, the president and CEO. Now, I'm going to switch gears a little bit here, Reanna. In December, the tornadoes swept through western Kentucky, and it's going to take a long time for people to recover. Do you have any recommendations in giving to help our Kentucky neighbors?
Yeah, I know that the Kentucky Attorney General did set up a really good page for people to get onto, so they can, look up the information there through the Kentucky Attorney General's office. Obviously, just the normal organizations like Salvation Army, Red Cross, people like that continue to help. Don't give money to people who just come knocking on your door saying that they're raising money for the people in Western Kentucky. They'll try to tug at your heart, give you sad stories, so be very careful of that. Some people put up GoFundMe pages. It's better to know the person, personally, and not give to the GoFundMe pages, because anyone can create these pages. They might not be legitimate. And also, it's not a tax write-off if you want a tax write-off with it, too. So, just be very careful of that and make sure you know who you're actually donating to. And then, of course, we've got the Better Business Bureau Wise Giving Alliance. And we have information on giving on our page, which is give.org. Got a lot of good information there. It even breaks down charities and nonprofits as a whole, how much they make, how much money they bring in, how much they spend on fundraising. Really breaks down these organizations and shows you the transparency of them.
Now, can you get to that from bbb.org?
You can do that as well, yes. The Wise Giving Alliance and bbb.org, and of course, again, give.org is also the same too.
Anything else before we close, Reanna?
I think that for those people in the areas where the tornadoes did hit, blessings out to all of you from the Better Business Bureau. We're here. Contact us if you all need anything. Definitely check out those businesses before you hire them. Scammers will come out of the woodworks. They'll try to get your jobs, try to rebuild your homes, try to fix your roofs, repair the storm damage, basically. So there'll be a lot of fly-by-nights that come out, try to take your money and run. There will also be legitimate businesses that come out, local and not local. Beware of some of the not local ones too, just because they might be a good business, but they're here to do the job now, and if they leave and you have a problem 2 years down the road, it's going to be more difficult to work with them. They might be a good company, but again, if it's not local, it'll be more difficult to deal with them if you have a problem coming up later on. So I'd say check out those companies at bbb.org.
All right. Well, thanks for the information, Reanna. We appreciate it.
Oh, thank you very much. You have a wonderful day.
Okay, you too. It's Reanna Smith-Hamblin of the Better Business Bureau. I'm Joe Fedele for Community Close-Up, and we'll talk again next week.